sits at this moment in time. We have had 5 different winners over the 5-18 Lorenzo, 2014 Marquez, 2015 Rossi, Viñales on the Suzuki in 16, Dovizioso. But don't ever discount that man from a better finish, because they are all quick on this grid. All of 2019, and that makes it an unbelievable 50%. It was back in 2014 since he's had that win. The man alongside him won in 2015, Valentino Rossi, was yesterday in qualifying too. I think that's significant, and it may be why Quartararo was amateurs. It's within their margins for the way Quartararo rides and the temperature this track is at. Neil,
the British Grand Prix, there's nothing better. It's an honour for me to be on that grid. I genuinely mean that.
He will eclipse surely Mike Hailwood here, but he's still got a long way to go before he catches his main nemesis. The MV was so much better than anything else in the field. Now the whole field is almost as good as what Marquez.
The golden era as well. It's now. You've said that before, Keith, in commentary. Just going back to Quartararo, Anthony had a massive slide and ran off the track, nearly crashed. So it's a gamble. Keith, Quartararo has got the hero.
And that's what we're going to see, and we know this man is going to be a hero because he's going to do his absolute ultimate bet. 50th Moto Grand Prix, he starts 9th place on the grid. Back on the 3rd row, it's going to take a special corner is critical, because once we're into Maggotts and Beckett's, it's one line all the way through, they're onto the hanger straight.
And for the years,
the only good thing about it is there is plenty of runoff, and you have time for recovery. But in this quality of 2014 winner here, there's never been a French Premier Class winner at the British Grand Prix. So from the 2nd row, with that medium front tyre, he's looking to try and outfox all of them on the front row. It is Marquez, clear away.
Marquez got a flyer, Keith.
So did Rossi. Not bad for Rossi. He's normally a little bit slack, but he went out from under him. Quartararo, and that's Dovizioso. The man in the championship has been taken out front tyre. Well, we wouldn't have expected that, that's for sure. Quartararo recovers. Dovizioso doesn't. We've seen disaster for Quartararo. And, of course, Andrea Dovizioso, the man who's 58 points behind Cal. I wouldn't be surprised. We've got Stuart Higgs in part of the committee here as well. Stuart Higgs, of course, BSB, race direct, someone lying on the track.
Well,
that's not that we go back to Ian Hutchinson and the like, if you remember that. It's just awful to think about it and get the debris cleared and to take an opportunity, just a breather, to think whether Fabio, Dovi out, that says it all, doesn't it? So the information is already, that leaves these 2 main men
to try and get the whole shot, and he's going to throw everything at it. The good news is, though, he's not breaking Valentino Rossi. He's on the back.
So bad to see.
Thumbs up. He's put thumbs up.
Well, there's no way they'd be moving him if there was a problem. The British Marshal, the British man to do. We're on the international straight now, past the wing. Oh! Shaking the head, shaking, everybody goes. Marc Marquez, Valentino Rossi shootout, surely. Rins has come to play on the Suzuki. Well, we might have 2 of them for a moment as well, if he can get that Yamaha to work.
Yeah, well, the crash has sort of worked for him at Viñales. It's got rid of a few of the quick high side coming out of the first corner. You don't see a lot of people do that.
You really, really don't.
So,
off contender to Marc Marquez in this championship.
Here we go. I'm going to take
another look at it then. So we can see he starts from the 2nd row of the box start, and that's what caused the trouble, because round the outside is coming Dovizioso, and Dobby found himself on the outside of it and had nowhere to go at all. So big high side from Fabio.
Hang on, wait.
I'm not sure about that. I think we have talked quite a lot about Rins, because he's a slow burner here in the commentary.
Slow burner, but he's not at the
temperatures. Just maybe that Suzuki is up for it. It won here how long ago in the hands of Maverick Viñales. I know there was difficult conditions, but actually that looks, you lay like that when you've banged your back. Got time to recover from the actual physical pain, but not the mental pain that he's going through right now. Back at the front we go, 2 minutes, 0.661, and of course the fastest race lap record, 2 minutes. Dovi up on his feet.
Yeah, actually, he looks better than I thought now.
I think he might have that. Marquez under pressure from a man we didn't think it would be. By the time we got to race, though, it's been a long time since we've seen a Suzuki win here in sunny conditions. Laps. He had nearly half a second advantage in qualifying over Valentino Rossi in 2nd place in qualifying. Up turn 11, and then that fast farm left-hander before we back down to 1st gear for the loop, which has also got the penalty long lap around.
Fast laps on Marquez. He's stretching the field. You can see it's quite spread out if you think about it. We're only on lap 2.
Too deep.
So is Viñales. Look at Viñales back there.
Look at Morbidelli all over Viñales as well.
Both these Yamahas as quick as he can.
Cal.
Smoke will work his way through. Watch this. Rins gets sucked in. Actually, Marquez was in a little bit hot, and that really put...
Your braking point should be where your turning should be. So another lap record as the fuel levels go down. Will get quicker and quicker until the tyres have gone off to a point where is playing a smooth game here, and it's going to be about being smooth, I feel, with these tyres, and that's probably going to be breaking the lap record. Will the Honda use the tyres?
Well, the plan A was to break them, to get a deep...
Crutchlow still there in 6th place. Jack Miller hasn't had the start he would have liked. He's in 7th place at the moment. Pol Espargaro on the British Grand Prix. Still Rins. Look at the way that Suzuki turns. That is just a beauty.
He's had success around here in the past, and at the tracks like, Alex Rins won in
He can take as well, and now the track's smoothed out with no ripples and bumps to interfere with your corner entry.
So rider in front, Quartararo, watch his rear tyre now. Look at them both.
Yeah, both went. Wow. That was Dobby riding up. Wow, look at that. The last time I saw somebody do that was Trevor Nation out of Clearways at Brands Hatch. He does
around his hips
as well. Yeah, some riders choose not to have it around their hips. Of the Honda now then, down the back straight, the hanger straight, fastest part of the course, 200 and up to the limit. That was not losing. I know he was well in the slipstream at the time, but it didn't lose a yard. And I reckon most of that is coming out of Chapel. He's able to just tap it in that fraction earlier. So he's
sections. You can see the Suzuki, he can run in a little bit quicker and he doesn't go wide.
Sounds beautiful.
Well, you go through turn 12, that's the fast corner, and then as you get on the brakes into that, well, but it's one of those sections you can, you know what I mean?
At the moment, but he's 1.3 seconds shy of this man, Alex Rins. Rossi has not had the pace to go 158.1 that Marc Marquez did. Says it all. 1 point already, a long way out. They know what laps are doing, actually, time-wise. It's up on their dashboard. The back of Marquez. Rins is looking for a win here. That Suzuki, I would suggest, will use its tyres. Maverick Vinales looking to gain pride over the Doctor in 3rd place. We know has late race pace, but if it drops away too far, they are nearly but the way that Suzuki is looking, particularly up through Cox and then on to Maggots and Beckett's and Bond. Look back to Rossi, Vinales, Morbidelli. There is Cal Crutchlow still there in 6th place, seemingly Yamaha.
Cal's lap times are the exact same as Valentino Rossi's, so if we keep...
Kaki Nakagami's now got in front of the KTM man Pol Espargaro, who's having a real good time around here. Petrucci's down in 10th place. On the Aprilia is 11th. That's a great ride from him to be in 11th place. Can he keep that up?
I bet Petrucci can't believe it.
Ahead, that's for sure.
Well, he's the man who's lying 3rd in the championship. I mean, literally.
Hard time on the factory Ducati, 2nd and 3rd in the championship coming into this race, you're right. Still it is. Look at the disaster for him, turn 13 crash. That's
the slow hairpin corner. You're going to crash round here, that's the corner.
The Suzuki, look at this. No surprises there, Rins. Another new lap record, but this time it's the Suzuki. Rossi troop here today at Silverstone. And you can bet your life there was 10,000 more people on the gate knowing the Valentino.
There's 14 laps to go. Is Valentino Rossi using all that 40? Yes. But yeah, the but is...
You know that Maverick Vinales is also a man with late race pace. Marc Marquez. The other night, Friday night, up on the curbs there, Rins. And he said to me, I said to him, you're a any disrespect from Marquez, that's for certain. We saw it, didn't we? And he said, I used to be a little bit timid, but not now. And Marquez is going to have to fight with fellow Spaniard. Although I haven't said that, Mark through Cox, up towards Maggots.
Which is what you'd expect,
Suzuki's turning.
Yeah.
So, out has gone, unceremoniously on its teammate to Cal Crutchlow, drops out of it. Meanwhile, hanger straight down towards Stowe corner now. Blasting up and over the hill. Tricky, a bit more like it, forget about Cal.
Sorry, I thought Keller took the front there. Sorry, I meant you jump there. The front that was pushing. I'm sure it was.
I'm sure it was there as well. I was about to say the camber is slightly different there, and it has into Le Mans, and that's where he fell earlier on in the weekend.
And it was at the exact point where you release the brake, get on the throttle.
That is the secret, of course, of making sure somebody doesn't get their rhythm in front of you, is to try and fight back as soon as you possibly can to that. Marquez a bit wide there, and that's given Rins a hell of a chance to get right back on the tail of right on the very limit, Marquez.
What a feeling though when you
Oh, look at that Suzuki hooked up there. Yeah. With grip already, and the Suzuki around the outside. Surely not. This is where Rins is good. He goes in front of Beckett. Rins leads for the first time then. Wow, that is a real turn up for the books in down the hanger straight. Let's see what the Honda's got in comparison to the Suzuki. Should have a little bit more. Not bad.
That looked like it. That was
it.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing.
Well, I'm going to keep the gap between Rins and Morbidelli messing it.
Oh, there's Morbidelli. I did say I thought he looked like he was squaring up for a snapback straight at Cal Crutchlow.
Race.
Clever man, Alex Rins.
I'm surprised he did that.
He's growing into the role, isn't he? First of all, he takes on Mark.
And whilst that's going on, Viñales is smiling in his helmet, and so is Valentino Rossi. So the gap was
playing mind games at the front. The two factory Yamahas are going to be right with them, and that brings Valentino Rossi and Maverick.
The lap times, as they go across the line, they'll be. Last time round, they're doing 2 minutes, 0.4.
Cal Crutchlow under a bit of pressure from what was the best qualifying Ducati. In third place, 2:01s they were doing then, low 2:01s, but 2 minutes for Viñales and Rossi. There's Oliveira.
Two KTM riders, not teammates.
Tech 3 is Oliveira. Who took who? Sorry. Oh, here we go. It is going to be Zarco up the inside.
Oh, here we go.
Him obviously, because he wouldn't be dropping straight into him. I like to see that from a different angle as Jack Miller goes through on Cal Crutchlow. Independent front row starter for him.
Do you know what's happened, Keith? With Rins and Marquez messing around, so he sets his fastest lap. The gap's now down to 1.5. We could have a race on here still.
Marquez has realised, this reminds me of Phillip Island a little bit with Marquez, where he backed off and let his tyres come back to. Plan A is you blast off into the distance. That was, I think, fairly well orchestrated by Marc Marquez. Steady, don't spin the wheels, don't do anything daft with these tyres. We've got to keep them for the end of this race. It's a 20 Marquez. And there it is, 0.3 over Rins. That's exactly what it was last time as they crossed the line. What is it going to be?
It's funny, it's that slow, doing a bit of an Andrea Dovizioso. We've seen Dobby do this in the past where he rolls off.
Gap back too. These two have pulled away a little bit from Maverick Viñales in third place, only by a tenth.
You push as hard as you can, you go across the line and it still says plus 0.1 or 0.2.
Used its tyres a little bit economically. We'll wait and see as we get to the end. Jack Miller has now pulled away a little bit from Cal Crutchlow.
It's not good, and he looks uncomfortable on the back, looks a bit stiff on it. Do you know when you can sort of sense something's not...
Pain and a lot of difficulty on that motorcycle. We wondered whether he'd even bother racing today, whether management would try and pull it. Actually in the points, in 13th place at the moment. Behind him, Shireen Abraham. Conan is still riding back in 18th place. So, back at the front, Marc Marquez.
Keith, I didn't mention to you, when after the Moto3 race, you saw I went to interview John McPhee. You should have seen his rear. So why I'm saying this is, we know everybody's, well, pretty much everybody's gone for a round here. Because of the flowing nature of this track, you are on the side of the tyre for so long.
That Suzuki's all over him. Rins is not going to be intimidated by Marquez. He's proved that already on and off track.
I was about to say,
Alex Rins has got it.
Funny, I was talking about rivalry with Neil Mackenzie. For a reason, extra motivation to want to beat me. And it's a good little tip, that, and that's what basically
Marquez situation, the most controversial rivalry off track that we've seen in recent decades. A situation where he certainly decided to stoke the fire there, and maybe Marquez didn't learn from this. Is great stuff. Petrucci should not be battling with a KTM and a couple of Aprilias.
This is not what they expect from their factory rider, down in 9th place. I see he's third in the champion
track as well as on it. I mean, that man just loves riding a motorcycle. Zarco can't get the grips with the KTM thing at it and puts in such a lot of work.
Petrucci looks stiff. I know he's got a slightly unorthodox...
Keep breathing down his neck. We have got 8 laps to go of the British Grand Prix. I've got a feeling we are going to see a band. Cal Crutchlow drives underneath Jack Miller, who's obviously made a mistake somewhere. These two now... we go on board with Marc Marquez to the top left of your screen. We're watching Cal Crutchlow fighting with Jack Miller. Jack Miller problems with that Ducati. And I wonder if it's...
Then usually it pictures you to the moon.
Still we have Crutchlow in 6th place then. We're looking at him. With Jack Miller up behind. In 3rd place for Valentino Rossi, who's 1.7 seconds behind Maverick Viñales at this moment, but a 2.1 deficit down to Alex Rins. I suspect not.
The problem is he's just circling on the previous lap, but he needs more than that. He really does if he wants a chance of 0.5 seconds. So on this lap, either Viñales is having a storming lap or Marquez is rolling off again.
The men behind him. Maybe his tyre just, this is Woodcote Corner, which when you're starting, the rear tyre spreads out over the track as you ask for more and the weight transfers onto the back of the bike.
Marc Marquez, yep. Wow, that's a lot in a lap.
It is a lot in a lap when we've got thought by Marc Marquez. This is going to be a situation where the last lap, Marquez is one round here. Go back to 2014 was a
Yeah, they blew up one year, didn't he? I remember that one, which is
that was 2017, wasn't it? Down the back of the Hangar Straight. There's a gap.
Rins is
Rins
coming.
to Viñales.
Oh, sorry, not Rins. Viñales is coming.
Oh, David.
Rins win earlier this year, but that was when Marc Marquez crashed. He's never. Yes.
John, this is closing down closer and closer. That's 1.5, as you said.
Yeah.
A dogfight with this man. You felt, Rins hot there.
Did you see him then? Break turn.
Steer with the real will. Has Rins got what it takes to win the British 6 again? The gap back to Rins and Viñales. It's yo-yoing. The factory Yamaha doesn't seem to time with that mistake. And then Maverick Viñales, 2 minutes 0.5 in third place. That's the lap time at the long way off. And back to Morbidelli, and even 2.1 seconds back to the fifth. Front three. Who's got what left in the locker regarding tyres? You would think that's just releasing the Suzuki a little bit more.
Exactly, that normally means, right, we've got 5.5 laps, full power, let's go.
See what it does, but of course if you haven't got the tyre that allows you to use that traction as well.
It probably will be, it's more likely to be a bit more traction.
So traction control, it's just going forward. The car won't drive forward when the traction control is trying to stop you from spinning and push you forward. Because mechanical grip is what you're looking for at this stage of the race.
Marquez wide again there.
Between the Michelin tyres. Which ones, on which manufacturer, on which riding style is Cops Corner, turn one?
The rear of Marquez's, it's laying rubber all the time on corner ends.
At last 9 and 10, the last two turns, Dovizioso had more grip available at the last two turns. Going to be beaten to the line. And believe me, we've seen it before, that final sector.
He's cruising.
He does.
He looks comfortable.
Mind you, he always looks a bit like that.
Yeah, he's got the
Jamie Whittam neck out.
Yeah, Colin Edwards. I'm sure he will be.
Marquez, Rins, Viñales. Viñales 1.9 straight now. Marquez versus Rins. This has been a war of attrition. And Rins looks thick in front of Jack Miller. Jack Miller hasn't recovered from whatever that mistake was, or mechanical, or whatever the problem was. Still pole and Aleix Espargaro 9th and 10th. Iannone having a good ride in 11th. Bagnaia 2-point scoring position, back in 14th place. Happy Cyrene in 15th. For news on Dovizioso, that's his manager in the white shirt, stood there in the middle of the... Wow, that hurt. That properly hurt. Davide all felt that, not quite as much as Dobby did. We'll get news on Dobby after this event, of course, online. This is the MotoGP race, the British Grand Prix, the GoPro British Grand Prix from Silverstone. Marc Marquez is under attack. It's like Marquez is running out of tyre. And you can see there the confidence of the Suzuki on the front. And time to look at...
A little bit like Austria, isn't it? It's building for the last lap.
Oh! Just as we say it, Rins just grew another extra grey hair. And that has closed it down. Viñales, 1.9 it was at the line last time. You cannot see where those tyres are squirming that tiny bit when you're on the motorbike racing the motor right here. Just ask for the power and out it comes from the rear end. Gets it all back under control.
He's got anything if he can claw this gap back down. It looks like he's, well, obviously he's giving it a go, but it looks like it is coming back down.
That traction control back a little bit more, and maybe it just allows it to spin a bit more, and that's 3 still. Back to Rins. Maverick Viñales 1.6 now. Back
at that.
Yep. Closing to try and...
The problem with Marquez, if you do go now, he gets a proper look here and bomb you, and then you might not be able to react. So exactly. I know. What you do.
Not this one. The next lap, I think Rins is going to have a go. I don't think he's going to leave it to the last lap. It's only a guess. It's all right
last lap,
I mean, he closed Marquez back down really quickly after that mistake, which gives me an indication. Well, he closed down with that mistake of the second place man, Alex Rins.
Run out of time.
Question is, has Marquez... hang on. Has Marquez raised? Is Marquez holding the pace up so he can unleash the Honda on the closing lap? Of 2 and a bit laps to go. The British Grand Prix is about to... make the move that we're expecting in this closing stages. 2 laps to go as they come to the line. More than 0. That's a fact. It's 0.4 at that point as he came over the lines. 1.2 further back from Rins. Come together, it could be a win for Maverick Viñales.
What's incredible is we're seeing the Suzuki that's strong in some parts of the
Sector, first 2 sectors, it's brilliant.
Clearly got an advantage through this first sector, but then, like I say, you get to that last sector.
A little bit quicker than the Suzuki down the back straight, the hanger straight. So we won.
Oh, Marquez was deep into there then.
Not deep enough for Alex Rins though. Right then, we've got an opportunity. We go down towards Abbey Corner. It's a quick old corner, then through Farm. This is Abbey. He's got closing him down. Yeah, it's going to be here surely down towards Village. Through the right-hander at Village, and then coming from the Suzuki. Has he got an opportunity? Here we go. It goes underneath him at Aintree on Brooklands. Here we go then.
Guys, sampai gini guys.
Deep perhaps, but also
stop.
the Suzuki.
What it's going to be.
This is where the Honda hooks up as we go through Woodcote. Interested to see how much more. This is Kenny Roberts, 1979.
Lihat guys nih yang cari duit guys, banyak winnya guys.
Now, 3.6 from the British Grand Prix has just come to life. Has Marquez got enough? This is where the Suzuki is out onto the hanger straight. We're there now. Firing out of it. Looks to me like Marquez has got this right.
You know what I mean though?
Yeah, I do.
Because Rins is going to have to, if he wants to win this race, he's going to have to let the brake off.
Now, Marquez is going to be likely into bail. He still makes the apex. Rins is still with him, threw enough in his tyres, surely, to make this work. This is the last chance saloon for the Suzuki. Can he get on? He'll close him down. This is Farm.
Here we go.
Village corner next. I don't think he can get close enough. Marquez is good on. Well, Marquez boxing clever there. So the Suzuki cuts to the inside. He's looking for the cutback. This is where he went. Can the Suzuki get underneath the Honda? Not close enough. Down here at Brooklands. It's going to be down to a mistake from Marc Marquez. Marquez is boxing very, very clever indeed. But Marquez is looking for a win from pole. Marquez surely has got it done.
Rins gets it over the line.
Him on the line.
Unbelievable.
Beats Marquez at the Viñales third. Rossi fourth. Rins, wow,
I can't believe it.
Suzuki are ecstatic. The last time they won here was 2016 with Maverick. Long, wider line into Woodcote and drove underneath the Honda. And because Marquez was
Marquez to show, look, I'm going to come round the outside of you. Marquez then had to tip in early and try and carry more. Incredibly lucky. I think that was racecraft.
It was racecraft.
Look at that.
100%. Marquez was protecting the inside of it in the middle of that checkered flag. It's not the first edge that you see. So Rins had a yard to spare. Place to Joan Mir as well because he's been putting in a lot of mileage on that bike as a test rider all day. Marc Marquez, well, it's been a long time since he won here. 2013, the last time Marquez won at pole. But it is the Suzuki and Alex Rins who wins the race.
What a feeling for them. They don't get on at all. He doesn't like Marc Marquez one bit. And there's not a better feeling. Do you know what, Rod? Which he did. But what he did, he showed Marc Marquez his front wheel. And then Marquez knew.
Like a Hellcat.